Well, look at that. We're live! As Lauren's trying to teach me how to present things.
It's true, it's true.
Much like Tammy last week, I am struggling. Let's see. Share screen.
She
It's
did her
easy to-
live last week for anyone that wants an update. And then
Yeah.
she's planning on doing them Wednesdays at 3, actually. So just after Eastern. So just after we get off, she'll start her live. So she has a second one. Her second one ever is today. Should be fun for her. Well, while we wait for people to show up, Hannah said that she has some sort of exercise for me and some questions for me. So I will work on those with her and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah. Okay, so I want a footer that looks like this one on the live site. And I know that like making this zigzag will be hard. And this I've decided is a global footer area. So I made my own little before version here. But I need like the dark blue area under. As you can see, I have like columns here, but I haven't figured out how to make pretty content like this. And I understand that with baked and branded, like there will be some compromises. Like we already have a global footer after that includes social share and like privacy and things like that. But I would love a way to get a
Hi,
footer
Laura.
similar to this one on the staging site. Hi, Laura. If you have questions, we'd love to hear them. Otherwise, I'm just making Lauren do my work today.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. I'm going to help Hannah out. And then, yeah, if you have any questions, Laura, drop them in the chat. Okay. So, Hannah, you want to take here. Let me switch your screen to mine. I'll pull up the flavor bender as a comparison as well.
Okay.
So that we can look at that. Oops. Okay. Cool. So this is mine. This is what Hannah wants to recreate, this section down here on the staging site that she's playing with here. So I'm already logged into the staging site so I can make changes there. I'm just going to talk through what I plan on doing with this footer right now. Okay, so first of all, obviously we will make the background dark blue and we'll have white text on it. We'll do like a little bio and then 3 columns of links or something along those lines. Like you mentioned, we generally have like 2 footer areas available to fill out, and one is considered like footer before and the other one's site footer. And the reason I have those separated is so that on some templates, if you want to remove the footer before content, you could just have like the strictly necessary content in the last line there. So normally what I do is I make the site footer something really simple that's like just the necessities at the bottom. So that probably would be like these right here, and then maybe the back to top and social. So Hannah kind of alluded to that. I'm probably going to do something like that, and we will see if Hannah likes it, as we do with most things. So we're going to definitely change the layout of this a little bit. Essentially, these 3 columns on the left will be 1 row, and then these 2 on the right will be 1 row. Oh, am I breaking up or are you, Hannah?
I am definitely having issues. So I'm in the act of pulling up my CPU usage and then closing every browser except for this. And it appears to have worked. So something was laggy on my end. Sorry.
Okay, sounds good.
Should be better now. It seems better.
Cool. I was like, oh, Hannah's saying something and I missed it. Okay, so we'll split these into 2. Hannah, you also mentioned that we want to try and keep this zigzag up here. I don't know how we'll do that. I'm going to cheat real quick and look at the code and see how it's being done. Let's see. Okay, so we have like basically a gradient that we're using. So just with CSS. So I'll add this and I'll just do it in the additional CSS area. I know how I'm going to do it. The average person would not be able to do this. If it was like the average person doing it, I would say that I would probably like use an image and then have like an image just in a full width image or repeating tile that I use. That's probably what I would do in most cases.
Like that one squiggle on creator theme.
Yeah, I just repeated a squiggle, which I think I got rid of that when I did updates today. It was no longer on brand. I only have
Hey,
one
while
thing
we're
left.
in there, can you make reader faves pretty too?
No, you asked for one
Aw.
thing, you're getting one thing. After I do this footer, then we're going to check in with Laura and see if she has any questions. And then depending on if Laura has questions or if anyone else has shown up with questions, I will consider doing this. But you're getting to a point where like you have to decide if this site is custom or if it's on Baked and Branded. So like,
Have you seen everything else I've done? I'm pretty sure it's Hannah custom.
okay, well, we're not going to get into that right now. We're just
I'm
going to
in
do the
trouble.
footer. Okay, so I'm going to come into here, edit site. We'll see what version of WordPress she's on. Ooh, beautiful. She's on an older version of WordPress, so it takes me exactly where I want to be. Love that for myself. Okay, and then these are my two purple areas. This is the site footer right here, and then this one is like global footer before. Yeah. So I'm going to put some of it in here and then some of it down here. Let's start on this bottom one. I want the background to be her dark blue. And then I'm just going to add in, she's got a copyright, privacy, disclosure terms, credits. Okay, so we're going to do privacy, disclosure, duplicate that for terms. I'm going to remove these links. Those will have to be added in by Hannah later. We've got all rights reserved, her site name, and then these are the credits right here. So I'm going to change the icons to be coral real quick. All those links need to be updated, but for now. And then at first I was going to just leave the layout pretty much the same way it is now. Hold. I want to show you what it looks like. So this is on white on blue. It's got a teal back to top and coral social here. Go down here. White on blue, we've got coral social. I'll add back to top, but then we have like white text. At first I was going to leave the layout how it is, but I think I'll change it just a little. Anything more would be like way perfectionist, and I would have to redo the whole site. Ask Hannah about what happened when I did one minor change on creator theme and how we now have a new website.
It looks great. I'm excited. No, the real talking point is how you did that one change and then we needed new headshots. And now we're both driving 4 hours at the end of this week for a photo shoot for new pictures for the website, because I think that's the real talking point that we are just
That is the
glazing
real
over
talking
here.
point.
Ooh, Laura has a good question. That's exciting. Okay, you're going to put us out of our misery sooner than later. That's a good thing. No. Send questions now.
Letter spacing.
Yes, 4 hours each.
Yes, 4 hours each.
But it's my kid's spring break, so I'm like, oh, cool, we get to go to Florida for spring break. It's gonna be great.
That back to top really has to be on the other side, doesn't it?
Oh.
Darn it.
Shouldn't it be teal with an arrow? She
No,
is going to come through that screen at me.
She's not wrong.
Oh boy.
Okay, and then we'll revert settings because Hannah does not want to let me do anything the easy way today. This will be teal.
Mm-hmm.
What does it look like here? It's just a circle, so we're going to do something like this. This is going to be good enough for Hannah right now.
Good enough. It really is going to be. Anything you do is better than what I've been doing, which is banging my head against the wall. For some reason, I'm saying for some reason, I am always really terrible with like grid spacing, and it's why I need Lauren's pre-made blocks and very specific like theme templates. But this has made me cross-eyed today.
These buttons need a little less spacing. We're almost there. Social, back to top. On desktop, I want them to fit. Like, I know they're going to wrap, but I really want them to like fit on here. All right. I love you. Please don't hate me. I'm leaving it like this. Like it's closer. We're going to do the upper bit.
Cool.
You can play with it from there. Or we'll come back, but I would need to fully enter that brain zone. And I don't think you actually want me to do that.
You've already gotten me closer than I was. I will take it gladly. Thank you.
Okay, so in here, I'm going to copy paste like all this other stuff. These are all the other things I want. I'm going to cheat and put them in here. So what I did was I added a new line. I made it a group. Inside that is a paragraph. I'm going to copy paste this stuff. It's not perfect, but it is what it is. And then now we'll start styling this. So this group should not be nested inside of that one. It should be its own. That way, why can't I set it as full width? What is happening? Let's see. Oh, because it's full width by default. Perfect. White text. Don't worry, we're going to make everything fit better, but for now.
I love watching you do things like
this.
this.
150. It's going to need some border radius. These three are associated. And then we have this list, which is the footer menu. I really want these all to be buttons, I think.
Oh, but then you have to fight the button styles of Baked and Branded versus what her theme looks like. And that's what had me losing my mind.
Okay, well.
You're like, yep, I'm going to make that. I'm here to fight the good fight. Let's go.
Yeah. The good fight. Okay. So we're going to get rid of, dang it, all of these. And then all of these, right? Those are what are associated together. Yeah. Perfect. So this. Okay, cool. So now I want this to be in 3 columns. So I'm going to select all 3 of these. There's 3 items. Insert columns. Now they're in 3 columns. Let's add some spacing around it. And we still have to add that border up here, but for now we're onto something. Okay, so I want to do the buttons. I want to come back to this like messy little bio over here later. Can I just make it smaller for now? Like font size, small, block spacing, smaller. How come nothing happened? Literally nothing happened. Was it already small? What kind of horrible world am I living in?
It's because I've been touching this site. I feel like there's so many times that I'm like, oh, nothing changed. And then I look later on the front end and I'm like, why are those 2 completely different things? Obviously something changed and you missed it. Yeah.
Okay, so I want all of these to look like plain text links. So I'm going to click on the text link item. It changes the color to primary. I'm going to change that to white. So I feel like that got us most of the way there. I'm going to style the rest of them by just copy styles and then paste styles. Allow. And then for layout, I'm going to tell it to go up and down. Decrease my block spacing. And then this first one needs to be bold. So maybe I'll just select the text and make it bold.
You haunt me.
I want it to be bolder. Let's see what my options are.
It actually needs to be semi-bold.
Okay. Semi-bold. Beautiful.
Something
Okay,
I
so now I did that
Yes.
one. I'm just going to copy the settings and paste them to this other column. Whee! And then you know what I'm going to do? This actually looks kind of good as it is. I'm going to change this to be 4 columns. So I'm going to add this column again because I'm going to put the content side by side. And then I'm just going to make sure all of these, I say they should be 33. I think they would just work, but I'm going to actually make them 25 because
4s.
that's my flavor of OCD. No, because like technically, oh yeah. Yeah,
4s.
there are 4 columns now, but that's actually how it is here. Oops. Wait, why can't I get over there? Here, see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Look how weird that is. What's happening? Okay, so let's do that. This, and then get rid of those. And then really, I could make these better. Should I do that for Hannah or should I let her suffer?
You should do it.
Okay, so then here's what we're going to do. This image is 150 pixels, so we're going to make this width 150 pixels so that the column and the image are always the same size. Actually, that kind of remade all of these. They fill up the space. I feel like I don't have to do anything different, but I'm going to. Okay, so we made this 150, and then these columns right here, like I want these lists to be smaller, like thinner with each other. So I'm going to make this bio wider. And the way I'm going to do that is that I'm going to turn these columns into another column. So we're going to have columns within columns. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. I have these 2 groups. Go to this column that we just added, I know. And then turn those into columns. Do they look goofy? Yes, we're going to fix it. So the one that has the picture now, 150 pixels. Where'd you go? 150 pixels. The other one doesn't need a width. It's just going to take up the available space. This column becomes 33.33%. Oops. As do these. So I know we kind of want, oh, no. I'm sorry. That was so goofy. This one's 50%, and these will each be 25. All right. So what I did was we have columns, and there's 3 columns. One is 50%. The other 2 are 25. And then within that first column, I did another set of columns. And that's got the 150 pixel image and then just the rest of the content. And so what that allows me to do is like easier maths, have everything look nice here and like automatically resize. And then I can change the spacing between this image and the text here. So I could have like that. Whereas I can add more spacing between these columns. I'm just going to reset it so it defaults back to the 50. This is medium. And then let's look at what that looks like. Oops, that's her live site. Okay, we'd have to get rid of some spacing here probably to make this look nicer. Obviously, Hannah's going to fix the spacing I didn't do over here. We need to get the borders back up here. And then I'm going to center this text like top bottom, and maybe we'll make this read more on a new line as well. So read more on a new line. And then this group right here inside of the column, I can tell it I want it to be centered. So you can't see anything happening right here. But when we refresh this text here should be centered. Well, you can't tell because I moved the button onto a new line. You love that, don't you?
Love it.
What if I do, can I make this into a button?
You hate me.
It's just so much easier. You just click the text button and then you change the color. Okay, and then you also change the size. What's so hard about that?
I have limitations that I can't explain.
Spacing, the line height. Well, I feel like you can't tell, but it's definitely centered here. And just be happy. Be happy that I did it.
I am so happy. It looks so much better.
I think I would make these smaller. I think I would make them a smaller font size.
Is it one of the goals of the new site, bigger font size?
Ooh, probably. Okay, so last but not least, we need there to be the border up here. So what I'm going to do This already has padding. I need it to be full width. So I think I'm just going to insert another group. Oh, wait. Yeah, I think I'm going to... What's going to happen?
Oh
Until I did that.
no.
I know I deleted that whole thing for a second. Remove the padding from the bottom of this. That'll bring these two sections closer. Maybe I'll just start by adding it onto this. So I'm going to add a class that says like has background pattern and then like has background pattern before. I got to close that. Oh wait, I needed it. I needed it and I closed it. Why do I have this open? This space is too close. You can figure that out later, Hannah.
Okay.
Oh, Hannah's being nice to me, guys, because I'm tired and whiny today.
There was one point where she asked for a compliment and I gave her like 36 critical to-dos that were not specifically what she asked about today. And so anytime she seems like she needs positive reinforcement, I'm here for that. I have already messed up big time today. She wanted me to say, "Ooh, pretty, I love it."
I wanted you. Should I keep my mouth closed? Should I
I'm
say it?
excited to hear it.
I asked her for design feedback, guys, and she sent me, I kid you not, like 35, 40 messages with content feedback. And I had told her previously that I wasn't happy with the content. And you know what she told me? All the ways the content sucked. Instead of the one thing I asked her feedback on, which was the design. I could have taken the design sucks. I could have taken it. Okay, so I went back into edit site. I could technically do it in here. I just like to have lots of tabs to make everything confusing.
Yeah.
And I'm going into the styles section and I'm going to add in this class. And so it's just the same CSS that's on her live site. And I'm going to give it this new class we created. So has background pattern before. I know that I did 2 classes in there, and that's really for brainy things I would do, but it's not necessary. So we're just going to save this and see what happened. Hope for the best. Please work. Guys, it almost worked perfectly. What is this right here? Why is there just a random gap?
Your new group isn't full width?
Maybe? Oh, because it's a child in there. So even if I did it in a separate group, hold. Where am I? Get rid of this one because I think it's going to work just here. I think I need an empty group. So we're going to duplicate this. This is the one that has all the content in it. We're going to remove these classes. And then we're going to have a group that's just empty and it has the classes on it. And it doesn't have any other settings. So we're not going to have any of this like padding or anything. So this is just an empty group and you're going to want to delete it, but you can't because it holds a secret background pattern.
Yep,
And
that
if I
is a
turn off the
tripwire.
inner blocks use content width, it's going to magically work.
Is it bad that I'm glad it didn't work because I know I'm going to delete that block? Empty blocks haunt me.
I removed the padding and now it's going to magically. Guys.
This is what happens on custom themes all the time, huh?
It is like silly stuff like this, but I'm also like, I know that I'm developing something like that I'm the only one that really has to maintain. So I'm not trying to like do it quickly because I'm live and I'm like, people are bored, Lauren. You have to stop being boring. Okay, so I
Really
have to
not worried
actually
about you
try
being
and fix this
boring.
one, but I definitely feel self-conscious that I'm being boring. So can we go answer Laura's question and then like come back to me troubleshooting this?
Yes.
Thanks.
Okay. On Dinner at the Zoo blog, she has a clock icon and time on her recipe block on the home page. Is that possible?
She has a clock icon. Ooh. Okay.
Cute.
So the short answer is no. The long answer is we can always do cool stuff.
How are you going to do
Okay.
it?
So this right here, these like 30 minutes, this specifically, or at least usually, let me double check and see if it tells me. It doesn't say for sure, but usually this comes from WP Recipe Maker and it's done with a short code. And I think I've mentioned something similar before. Essentially, like short codes aren't supported in query loops. So you could do something like this if you were doing it all manual, but if you wanted to have it automatically pull in this information from the post, because WP Recipe Maker relies solely on short codes, and they don't have block support. This isn't possible, and it's not completely a WP Recipe Maker thing. Like, it's really a WordPress bug. They could overcome it by like coding some stuff differently, but like really this stuff you think would work and it doesn't because it's a WordPress bug.
Okay, so
So
because it's a query loop, if you were to do a manual where you're picking your posts, then can you use the short code?
no, because those are still in a query loop. When I say manual, I mean if you are like putting in an image, writing the title, and then we make a little design where you manually like you write in the words 30 mins, like that would be possible. But if you want anything that's going to pull this in from the recipe card, it's not currently possible due to the bug with WordPress and the fact that WP Recipe Maker is based on short codes and not any sort of block support. But there is cool stuff that we can do. Yeah, go ahead, Hannah. The only person who can raise her hand.
So obnoxious. In a perfect world, if category labels block were performing as expected, would that be the other workaround?
It is performing as expected.
Oh, yeah. Can category labels block do this?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
magical.
was getting there.
Okay, sorry. You took too long. I was like,
You
no,
used too
the
many
answer is
words,
yes.
Lauren.
Why are you
I want
saying
more
no first?
images.
I do want more images.
That's a callback to
everywhere.
one of her feedback items earlier. And was also one of the specific things I told her I also wanted.
Look.
This girl. Okay, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to get into a category. Why is there a line? What is here? Kylie, did you edit this?
Kylie's doing things for sure. Are you going to fix that right now?
Yes, of course I am. I want to show Laura how it works. And so I'm going to go in and look at how it works and show her. Okay.
Okay.
So Laura, adding this time under here because it comes from WP Recipe Maker, not really possible right now, but there are lots of workarounds. Like I said, you could do something manual if you wanted. That just reminded me, I need to do something for Erin.
She's reaching for a Post-it right now. And she's still telling you no when you were asking about a front-end question and she was explaining the how-to of this particular setup based on assumptions. When the answer is 100% yes. We're going to show
Hannah
you the
wants the
14
answer to
ways.
everything to be yes.
I do.
But your specific question, the answer is no. However, there are other things you can do that are not the same. Hannah really hates when I say.
On dinner at the zoo blog, she has a clock icon and time. On her recipe block on the homepage, is that possible? She didn't say query loop. She didn't say how those recipes are being placed on the homepage. She's asking if these things can go on the homepage, and the answer is yes.
Laura, I hope that you fully feel the domestic abuse that is being given to me right now.
Oh my god.
I know, I'm really teasing. That's not even where I was gonna go with that at first, but I thought it would be funnier.
It's more fun.
Laura, I'm sorry because I really am taking a long time to get to the yes part of my answer. But I promise I'm trying to get there. I'm not tip top of my game today. So category label blocks is what I'd recommend for something like this because you can use it with query loop and it's going to pull stuff in automatically. She loves domestic abuse. That's what I'm hearing right now.
Yet again, Lauren has leapt to conclusions. We're doing great today.
I cannot even argue with that. So with category label blocks, it's not based on something. No. I love the like 5-second delay, like 10-second delay between comments where like we can't have like a full-fledged conversation with Laura. Okay, well, we'll show you the two ways we can do it then. I'm going to show you category labels block first because I think it's really cool and it's pretty easy to do. And so that's the one that I want to show you first. I have it set up on Kylie Cooks. It is a premium plugin, but if you don't already have it, just email Hannah. Just email Hannah. She just makes up coupons all the time.
Okay, I'm on a sales pitch, so I might actually sell you that one, but only because I'm in a crunch for my April goal. I have 7 days, so.
But look at how cool this is.
What?
Okay, so if you're looking for something that you want to like pull a call out to make that post kind of like have a little bit more context, category label blocks will let you do that with any sort of custom taxonomy. And so these are just categories. So you can see here that on Kylie's site, we have it where you can see categories and you select what those categories are. So we've got like seasonal ones from her and she's got some time-based ones. So it doesn't pull directly from your recipe card, but if you have categories that are specific to like how long a recipe takes, then you could use those and they would show up. If here's what it like looks like if there wasn't any category assigned that is relevant. So if you moved it below, you wouldn't see as much of this like kind of change right here. And then here, I think this is what was happening on the homepage where some of these don't have a background. So we'll have to play with that. But I'll show you just like real quick what that kind of looks like. And then if you want to do like learn more about that, then we can talk about it more in depth. But here on Kylie's site, let me refresh this page. Actually, we'll just edit the homepage. So I clicked on edit page. It's going to take me into these query loops and you'll see that I have like a synced block that I'm using to manage all of my category things. So here you can see this is what it looks like on the like backend. You can see all the possible categories that would show up and it's like less pretty, but it's only going to show one. So when I click on edit original, this is where I say like if it has any of these categories, show. And then the settings over here say, show it based on the current post. This is going to be checked by default. This one says display the primary. So this was important if you had like a lot of nested categories and you wanted to prioritize the primary category as being displayed. And then another fallback. These are basically just like logic-based stuff. I probably would enable all of that. And then what we did on Kylie's, which is probably something you'll want to do as well, is limit it to 1. So even if a recipe is both a reader favorite and a spring fave, on Kylie's site, it's only going to show the one that appears first, which in this case would be reader favorite. And so that's what this limit categories does. Otherwise, if it's in, it would show both of these, and that might get really unwieldy. So here I would select a term. I can choose what I want it to be. So these could be category, could be a tag. I think category is available in our like, Hannah rocks. um,
Just making
is
sure it was still
the
there.
default for this for our like entry-level version, and then you select it and you can style it just like you would a button. So it has all these options over here. That's the gist of it. There's more stuff you can do, but I don't want to bore you. This one is the one that allows you to have like one item that automatically shows up, even if you're using a query loop. Okay, so then let's look at how you would do something if you wanted to do it manually. We're going to do a private page on Kylie's, and we'll make something.
Okay, wait, can I ask a workaround question?
Yeah.
If she wants to make a 30 minutes category, is there a way to have the clock icon within that category so that it goes through category labels block? Would like a clock emoji work?
I should have left that open then. Let me see.
Sorry. I meant to catch you, but I'm
That's okay.
delayed.
So
I'm as
what
laggy
we
as my
have
computer.
set up right now is normally I think post term can only hold a couple things, which is the term abbreviation or like the term. These are all abbreviations. Here, let's add a new one. So when I'm on my category labels block, click plus to add a new term, select whatever I want. By default, it adds in this term name. If I want to customize the name or like use something shorter, I can add a term abbreviation. So when I'm on post term, I can click plus. And these are the defaults. So this could be like 30. And then it could be next. So I had a very specific site where it looked like this, very loosely. And this is what it looked like. Or like if this was gluten-free, it was like GF and then it had gluten-free next to it. So it looks something like this. So you could do something like that. And then if you actually want the icon, let's see, it looks like it's going to let me insert.
Oh, fancy.
So it didn't let me do it. What I could do.
That knife icon really got me.
What am I trying to do? I'm trying to make this image smaller. That's what I could do. Let me see if that's inside of category labels. It doesn't look like I can insert it in here at all. What I'd have to do is I could do like a layout where these are in a row. And then let me just show you real quick what that would look like if only one was visible here. It would look something like this. Like I could style it a little bit differently and it would look something like this. So you can have the icon and then something would show up here. The only thing with this is you'd have to make sure that it was never blank, that every single post had at least one of the categories that showed up in category labels, because the way this works, this image is going to show up even if category labels is empty. And then you would just have like a timer icon there with nothing next to it. So in order to have the image in here, we would have to like edit the plugin to allow it, which we could do, but we are likely to run into some other issues. So could discuss that more. Okay. Any other questions on this, Hannah?
Clock emoji. I just have to ask about the stupid simple ways. I'm sorry. Like where you type reader favorite, can you do clock emoji 30
This
men?
is a term abbreviation. So I assume if there's a clock emoji. I love how I picked the alarm clock, which is like the least relevant. Ooh, it did not insert it. Okay, there you go. Clock emoji.
I cannot see that, but I trust you. Cool.
Well,
no, it's doing like a
now?
Yes. Thank you.
Let's not get any larger than that. Okay, I need to refresh this and make sure nothing's saved because you know this is Kylie's live site. Beautiful.
Cool.
Okay, I want to do the manual way as well. So instead of query loops, I'd be looking at something custom. I'm going to look for something that pulls in posts. Here's one right here.
The way that you're still on Kylie's live site has my anxiety up there.
I got this.
You got this.
Okay, so this is what a manual like block will look like, right? So the image is manually added, the title underneath. this title is using buttons. You could also use like text so that it's an actual like H3 if you want it to be. But then underneath, inside of this same group underneath, you could insert, like, we'll do first the image. So we're going to do a little heart image, right? Should we do the knife to just get to Hannah?
Thanks, Boo.
You're welcome. Okay, and then after the image, I want it to just say like 15 minutes. And then I would style this the way I do.
Yep, see, that's so complicated. I want to do enter, clock emoji, 30 minutes. I can type it all. I can do it in 30 seconds.
Yeah, but mine looks better.
Essentially gets what we need done with just like a paragraph block, right?
Yeah, but mine looks better.
Yours always looks better with your knife.
I feel like it needs like semi-bold. Semi-bold's a good one. Let's make our knife a color. This knife definitely needs like this. The spacing needs to be a little less.
Laura has watched you click for so many hours of her life. As have I.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want me to be more self-conscious today? Why don't you hurl some more shots at me?
Nope, she's not going to do it my way. She's going to copy and paste her way.
Yeah, because mine looks better.
How do you know?
Because I made mine. Fine, you want this one to be your way?
I do.
Clock icon. 15 minutes. Centered. There you go. That's fine.
Laura, we're not going to ask you to vote.
I would riot. I have to see Hannah tomorrow, guys. It's not even this weekend. It's literally, we're driving there like after work tomorrow. We don't get in until 9 p.m.
We're both going to be cranky and tired. It's best to just not speak to each other until the morning.
I'm only going to talk to Reagan.
And Dylan. Don't act like you can get out of that one.
Yeah. Okay. Do I have to go back to Flavor Bender now? Laura, no. Please have more questions.
We have 15 minutes left. You do not have to go back to Flavor Bender. Don't look.
Surely I can fix whatever's happening here, though.
It's probably something dumb I've done somewhere, but I don't know where. Oh, boop, 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 boop. On the pattern for tips and tricks and the gather pattern, do you have to ungroup the bullets and the numbers in order to have no number, just a bullet, or to use ABC instead of 1, 2, 3? Okay, let's pull that up.
I don't understand at all.
What?
I don't understand.
The question?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, you're in a baked and braided site, so add a tips and tricks pattern.
Hold. Can I just look at this real quick? Don't hate me.
Can I not touch Flavor Bender?
I know, but I can't just leave it like this. Look, I didn't move the classes, guys. That's what the problem is.
Did you just copy 15 minutes somewhere?
This? Oh, yeah, I definitely did.
Okay.
So in here, inside of additional classes, I need the correct one.
Okay.
And then I have to remove it from this one. Wow. I made a mistake, and that was all I had to do to fix it. Why?
I am in so much trouble for doing so much on this site.
It must be because
Step away from the footer.
Man. Okay. I apologize, footer. I have failed you. Okay, we're not saving that page on Kylie's. Okay, so, oh yeah. We're adding the new block here. Which block is it?
Tips and tricks. I think it's going to be a with sidebar one.
Okay, patterns with sidebar. Nope, nope. This one.
Right there.
Okay.
Okay. So do you have to ungroup the bullets and the numbers in order to have no number, just a
number.
bullet, or to use ABC instead of 1, 2, 3?
Okay, cool. So this is a list block right here. And so your settings are going to be partially in the toolbar that shows up right above, or they're going to be in the sidebar here. And it's going to depend on what you want to change. So if you have it numbered, you have a couple options of what you want your like numbers to be. And this is part of advanced list extension, which you have already, Laura. So you can choose like A, B, C, D from here. Or if you want it to be bullets, here in this toolbar, you can change it to unordered and it'll switch it to bullets here. And that's also how you would change in your settings over here. I'm wrong. Why aren't there any settings for this list?
Oh, she doesn't have advanced list extension.
Oh, she doesn't have that.
Sorry.
Is it not part of the plugins that we gave? Or she just doesn't have it installed?
You were the one who claimed to have installed all the plugins on a live when you were also doing my work. I don't think advanced list extension is included, but I think it's included for founders like Laura. I can check my work on this.
So that's why she doesn't have options here, but this list style is not part of list extension then. This is default, and we have a different option that's available for, I think, unordered lists then. Okay, so sorry, Laura. I'm so used to working with that plugin, I don't even know what I'm doing without it. But this list is, you want to click on that parent list. So if you click into this area in general, it's going to select a specific list item. That's where you won't be able to like change it to ABC or whatever, is when you have the list item. But the select parent block right here on the left, if you don't have the document overview open, we'll select that parent, and then you'll have these options to switch between unordered, ordered. And then inside of ordered, you can choose a couple options. And then if you have an advanced list extension, you can style the numbers. You can change to emojis. You can use custom text, things like that.
Did that answer your question while she takes a long sip of kombucha and still considers that zigzag in the back of her mind?
I am, for real. Mm. I'm like, what can I play with next? There is a bullet with a number in it. Does it work the same way? Yes. Yours looks that way because you have advanced list extension installed. So yours are just like stylized numbers.
Yeah.
Don't we have a login for hers?
Yeah.
Where we can actually just like show her exactly. Admin, close out of that site that brings me nightmares.
I'm just going to go click back. Get your zigzag back.
Oh, good luck.
I'm not going to be able to.
Add new page. Plus patterns with sidebar. Tips and tricks. Okay. So Laura, for yours, it's still like here in the document overview, it's exactly the same. It's a list with list items. It looks more stylized because you have advanced list extension, and that adds this marker color and marker background option. But if we got rid of those, now it just looks like a normal list. So I'm going to click undo. When you have it looking like this, if you've selected that top level list, you still have the options I was talking about here in the sidebar where you can change it. Oh. I see. Okay. This list extension plugin we had to do quite a few things to make different parts of it work. Now I'm going to have to figure out, I need to add support for that. Okay, so Laura, I still have an option for you, but I see what you're saying now. If you have advanced list extension, it's always using numbers because of styling concerns. I will work on getting support for these other options. It will definitely be possible for us to support those so that this actually does something. Now, until that is working, if you switch to unordered, I love that it has an emoji in there already. You can make it like use a regular bullet without being numbered at all. And so it looks like we have it with like an example emoji already, but just change it back to none. You can see this is set to white, but when I come in here, I can choose like pink.
Cool.
Yeah. So then you can have colored bullets there. But for that drop down, I didn't realize that wasn't working. And I know why, but now we gotta fix it. And I have like a lot of in progress fixes.
This is what happens when you have like 30 products to support. Something always needs a little something. It's okay.
It's a minor thing. We can get support for it. We just gotta add it in now.
Yep. Fixable problem. Would there be a way to like swap off advanced list options within the block to go back to default settings? They wouldn't be pretty, but how do I get more color options? Okay, so like the bullet.
Okay, cool. So if you're on this numbered list, I believe if you reset both the marker color and background, that it gets rid of things and you can use these numbers again. Cool. Yeah, so if you want to use these options and you don't mind that they're like plain instead of being colored, then when you come over here to the style tab, just remove the marker color and background. So the easiest way to do that is usually to click on these 3 dots and then click reset all.
Okay, and then show again how to add.
Again, if you're adding in those colors, when you add both of them, it only lets you do the numbers. But then I can reset them and then it'll use whatever custom option I have from the drop down.
Okay, go to bullets and then make it colored.
Okay, so then back, if I switch it over to bullets, when I have the list block selected, change it to unordered. And then by default, it's probably going to have you in the settings tab. You'll switch over to the styles tab and choose a marker color.
Cute.
In my head, I'm thinking, this is one of those silly things that we added because it's cute, but it's not like, it's not exactly supported.
I want to have more color options than what I have. So
yeah,
more colors than the colors you've uploaded in your theme styles?
Yeah, we're going to do that. Okay. So right now we're adding a page. I'm going to leave that. You don't need this page. Okay. So you're going to go to Appearance Editor. And then inside of the Styles tab, I'm going to close out of this pop-up. In here, you have a colors option. Yay. Palette. Whew. I really panicked there for a minute. I was like, where are the color options? Palette. Okay, so these are all the theme colors. These are the ones you can customize to your brand if you want to change the colors. Like, I'm not going to save it. You know, you want these colors. This one needs to be more different. Okay, these are your colors now. Check it. Hell yeah. Okay, so you can change your current colors, but I know you said you want to also have more colors. Cool. Underneath here, custom. And then you can name this whatever you want, but the name is going to be used in your code in the future. So I try and name it something generic I mean, color one obviously would be fine, but you could do like accent one or something like that if you needed. And then now, if I were to save this, which I will not, then when I'm in other locations and it asks me like what color I want to use, these new colors that you've selected will also show up there. And this is definitely the way I recommend you do it. I think I actually have disabled. Technically, you can use custom colors in Gutenberg, but to save you from headache down the line, I have disabled those. Any colors you want to use, put them in a palette. They get referenced by name, and you can easily like replace them in the future versus having hard-coded colors in a lot of places. So the only places hard-coded colors will be are on your icons now. Hannah's laughing. She's like, I don't care. All right, Hannah, when you have to update 800 posts to replace the shade of pink that you don't like anymore. Hannah would never.
Never. It'll just be a bad pink for a while.
Yeah. Okay, let me refresh this just to prove it's not getting saved. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Tell me what else, Laura. 4 more minutes of live. Don't make me go back to Flavor Bender.
Someone fix the zigzag.
Oh, look, I don't want to fail. Why can't I make it work?
You know you're significantly better than I am. I am actually going to fail. It will be what puts me down today.
Yeah.
You at least got it 85% there. I won't get it anywhere.
It's not even 85% there. Getting rid of that last little bit of space is really going to be like, it's the last bit that you think is going to be easy and it's not. It's like something foundational problem. No, today.
That's a metaphor for life. I haven't played created with buttons. I'm a little nervous. Ooh, don't be. Just get mad. That's what I do. You want to walk through button options one more time?
Mad.
They're really not that bad, but my issue is always spacing, like getting them. Like Lauren made that pretty column, and then they were all spaced nicely, pretty quickly. When I mess with buttons, I get stuck, but it's always a spacing thing for me.
So I love buttons, actually. They're probably like one of my favorite. Like, I try to use buttons instead of most other things. Anywhere that there's like, what I actually wish is the query loop uses like H3s for post titles, and I wish they wouldn't, because I feel like it's not necessary for those to actually be headers, and I wish I could make them buttons. Buttons are just like, what's that?
Then I could just copy styles. There's so many buttons that I just want styled like I styled my pretty query loop titles, and those don't align, and then I get cranky, and I have to do it the manual way, but I get cranky.
Yeah, like buttons, there's like starter kind of places up here. So we've got one for search. This adds like, so this one's text, and this is text plus an arrow. So text plus an arrow. And then on our normal one, if we just want to add an arrow, ooh, we actually stylized that one a little bit extra, so that's fun. And then this is like, put it back to default, which actually did not put it back to default, so love that. Oh, you know why? This is like default for baked and branded specifically. Hold. So this was like our default baked and branded button. This is with the arrow. This is just as text, text with an arrow, and then search, which you'll never really need. Okay, let's delete all these extra ones. So we've got 1, 2, 3. What I love about buttons is if you just style one, and then I copy it, I can select the other buttons and I can paste them, and it's really reliable. So I love that. you can get them back to what you want it to be, like get rid of all of your custom styles by coming into the styles tab and then using these 3 dots to reset all in each of the sections. So then it just goes back to being a regular button. So if you were to like actually get in there and like mess something up, just go reset all the styles, it'll be a regular button. And then because they're basically, here, let me get rid of that one. They're basically like in a group by default. So when I look at buttons, these are individual, but then they're inside of a button container. So they're basically grouped by default. And then what that means is that they have all these like group settings that I can choose. So I can center them and space them out. I can have them stacked on top of each other.
That's the one that I always forget about. Gotta do
Stack.
better. Yep.
Yeah. And then like even this button, because it's a group, I could change the text style on all of them pretty easily if I wanted to. So I could do like large, italic, and then just give them different colors so that they were each unique, right? So I find buttons to be like one of the more intuitive blocks for me. And of course they have spacing.
Yeah. So that's something that I feel like is important is you see that the slider is all the way back. So you're thinking that it's already like as close as it can be. But
yep. Yeah, your thing just went off. Yeah, just because like, so if the slider's all the way to the left, it either means that it's set to 0 or that it hasn't been set at all. And there's no way to tell right now other than like moving it or using the 3 dots here to see like if something's been set. So these are all like unset. None of them are set to 0. But once I set it, again, it doesn't look any different. But I can see the block spacing has been set, which means at least one of these is 0. I can't tell which. There's no way for me to tell which, but I can reset it. Yeah. I think there's a few like conversations about how to improve that moving forward, but
it's a WordPress thing, not a big graded thing.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I know we're a little over. I liked answering your questions, Laura.
Yes,
far more than I liked trying to do the footer on a site.
Thanks for trying to do my work for me. Appreciate you.
My brain's not all the way there. It's hard.
So much better than mine, though. The other thing, Laura, that I feel like is just my best friend anytime I'm playing the site and I'm worried I'm going to mess something up, being able to copy styles and paste styles is like one of my favorite hacks when tinkering with the site. Oh, happy travels and photo shoot. Yeah, check creator theme. What? How long until we get photos do we think? Let's say 2-week turnaround. So by the end of the month, Lauren will have the thing she wants.
I hope so. I'm like, I need all these specific kinds of patterns.
For the low cost and time investment of traveling to Destin, Florida, you too could join this photo shoot.
And have a little mini vacation.
Yeah.
Okay, so because Hannah mentioned it, I wanted to show you real quick. When you copy and paste, the best way to do that is if you have similar content. So you can see this one's already a little different. It has a group with columns, and this is just columns directly. So if I were to copy the styles from this one over to the new one, it's not going to copy them like as expected. It's just a little off. If something like that happens, you can copy like this columns onto this columns, and it'll help a little bit. But yeah, you can see like things are getting weird. So really that's going to be best for like either smaller, like less nested blocks, like the buttons block, copy and pasting from a button onto a button, or from blocks that are like exactly the same blocks nested and the same number too. Like if you have 3 paragraphs here and you have 2 paragraphs here and then buttons, those buttons are going to be messed up because they're going to be styled like a paragraph. So they have to be exactly the same. But if that were the case, then yeah, you could copy paste like more complex ones as well. But for the most part, I would copy and then like something very specific, like this button. I would copy from the buttons, copy styles, and then go down to these buttons and paste styles. You'll be better off. It'll be more as expected.
Yeah, I go element by element. I just mean like if I'm tinkering a query loop and I get one thing finally how I like it, then I'm going to copy it across the remaining 3 instead of trying to duplicate the process. But I would be terrified to touch a whole group like that. Sorry. Context is important, and I am always terrible at providing it.
All right, Laura, let us know if we're going to see you in Destin, Florida, which is
Nice,
the tourist
Bill.
friendly name of Florida, tomorrow night at 9 p.m. See, Laura says she loves Destin and that she's going to show up there tomorrow night with us.
We'll see you at 9 p.m. I'll email the address.
I was certain that you were going to say something about my leaping conclusions.
Oh, 8 hours away. Okay, so our combined drive is your one drive.
Yeah.
That's tough.
You should leave a little earlier than us, that's all.
I suggest leaving at noon. We are so obnoxious. Thank you, Laura, for joining.
Bye, Laura.
We'll see you next week.